you have to start to be aware that there are factors here that are going to cause issues for Bitcoin. If we break below 28,500, 400 area and we confirm, that gives us now a downward channel or a break of the trend. By the way, these two lines are going to meet. So this is going to happen over the next week or two at longest.
Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Talk Crypto. In today's video, pro trader Gareth Soloway shares his outlook for the markets and a quick update on Bitcoin. Gareth mentioned the controversy in the Fed speech, now talking about a mild recession and the need for more rate hikes, which is making the markets nervous. The stock markets have been trading in the red as earnings disappoint, and Bitcoin's rally appears to be losing steam, as the price dropped 6.71% over the last 5 days. Gareth warns about the risks of getting caught up in the FOMO he's seeing all over social media, comparing it to 2021 when Bitcoin was at $69,000. He highlights that this kind of sentiment at the current low prices is very concerning. Let's listen to Gareth as he goes over the charts to show us the critical levels for Bitcoin. But before we do, please consider subscribing to our channel, as we bring you daily content on the latest crypto news. And now, let's jump right into the video.
Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the market. We're seeing the market selling off this morning. We have the S&P futures down over 20 points. NASDAQ futures down about 100 plus points. The kicker here is partly earnings, right? But overall, really what's going on here is more than anything, you have some Fed commentary that is starting to spook the market a little bit. For instance, I believe there was one Fed, I don't know if it was Bullard, but he basically came out and said he doesn't see a recession and the Fed has to stay the course and continue to raise interest rates. Now, the issue with that is that we just heard last week from the Federal Reserve that we were going to have a mild recession. So there's this dichotomy, there's this divergence building within the Fed where some people are still saying, hey, listen, mild recession, but we're going to still raise interest rates. That's freaking the market out because the market is smarter. Markets are anticipating that essentially we're going to have a recession. So these are things that are going on right now that we have to be aware of, and that's pushing the markets down. But the bottom line is what that means is the market will stay in a euphoric stage until it finally gets slapped in the face, realizes something is wrong, and then you see massive selling pressure. Let's be honest with ourselves. All right, this is look inside. If the Fed is saying we're going to have a mild recession, and remember, their track record is that, oh, don't worry about inflation. It's going to be transitory. What do you guys think when they say a mild recession? Do you think it's just going to be like, nah, no big deal, mild recession? Personally, I'd be a little bit more nervous. All right, I know everyone wants to go over Bitcoin. We've got to go over this Bitcoin chart. I got to talk to you guys about this because the bottom line is with Bitcoin, you have to start to be aware that there are factors here that are going to cause issues for Bitcoin. All right, so right now, we are at a major resistance. I've said this till I'm blue in the face. The 30,500 level is the level to watch. A lot of people kind of round it down to 30,000. No, the technical level is the technical level, 30,500. Look at what we've done right along here on the chart. Bitcoin has hammered on this over and over again. This is the daily chart. We even had a doji right here, which is a bearish signal where it popped above and then got slammed down right to that level. I love how it flushed 2 days ago, rallied back, and now it's flushing again. The level I'm watching for short-term bias. So right now you're at resistance, but honestly, resistance can be broken. That's a possibility. But one of the things you have to recognize here is this longer-term trend line, which I just discussed with my live traders in office here just 10 minutes ago before I started this broadcast, is that this is a long-term trend, right? You hammered on it here, you hammered on it right here, you broke above it, now you hammered on the opposite side. If we break below 28,500, 400 area and we confirm, that gives us now a downward channel or a break of the trend. By the way, these two lines are going to meet. So this is going to happen over the next week or two at longest. But right now, look for this support line right here. Also notice, I want to show you this, how if we connect these highs right through here, this line actually merges right at that point. So 28,500, 400, if we break below that, that is very bearish for Bitcoin. Okay. The other thing I have to talk to you guys about is there's so much FOMO out there. There is so much. You go on Twitter, you go on Instagram, you go anywhere out there. Everyone's talking about alt season. Everyone's talking about this. The alts are going to start going 100x or 10x or 5x, whatever it is. My issue with that is that basically because that narrative is out there, everyone's already positioned themselves long. If you haven't seen the alts go yet, and everyone's already believing that it's going to happen, that's a very, very concerning issue. Because again, think about this. Who's going to drive the alts up now? If all the little investors are in because they believe the alt season is coming after the Bitcoin run, how or who is going to now push it up via using massive amounts of money? That's problematic. Remember, the psychology of the market dictates, and psychology is key right up here. One of the ones, by the way, Matic, I mean, look at this. I mean, this is not a good chart here at all. But Matic, again, guys, right on that support line, you're not seeing the price action, to me, that denotes an alt season rally, all right? You're not seeing it. This is what drives me nuts. Everyone's so regimented. I still remember when I was calling the high at 69,000 with the drop to 20,000, everyone was telling me, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You know, the on-chain analysis shows we're going to 100,000, X, Y, and Z, you know, and I'm like, dude, the charts are the charts. Psychology is psychology. It's worked for hundreds, if not thousands of years, but somehow you're going to come in here and say that, oh, some new metric, you know, on-chain analysis is going to play out. To me, on-chain analysis is the same as fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis long-term makes sense. In the short term, it has nothing to do with greed and fear. Greed and fear drive the markets. That's just a simple explanation, and it's absolutely true. So when you have this scenario, guys, where you have greed and fear, guess what? Fear is going to trump fundamentals, on-chain analysis every time. Now, again, we're now at a point, and I've said this before, number one, we're in a cycle where the Fed is not printing money. That's very, very tricky for Bitcoin. Doesn't mean Bitcoin's not going to break out here, but it makes it harder. So to think that we're going to get the same 4-year cycle when Bitcoin is not being propelled by massive inflows of money from the Federal Reserve, from the US government, et cetera, that's problematic. In addition, every which way, I'm seeing Gary Gensler and the SEC suing this person or this company or that company. There's a lot of issues here. Big money is not going to commit. Well, who is going to drive the alt season if all the small investors are banking on it, thus in? And the answer is, well, big money's not coming to the rescue, because they're not willing to commit capital in major amounts because there's no clarity, there's no structure, there's no rules in the crypto markets yet. I mean, literally Coinbase yesterday said that they were thinking about moving out of the US because they have no clarity. And this is a publicly traded company. So anyways, my point is this, guys, be careful here, again, in the crypto markets. I have seen it before and I've seen it again. The bullishness in Bitcoin and crypto right now is equal to the bullishness we saw at 69,000. That to me is a warning sign, because to me, that's a negative divergence. To see that much bullishness at such a lower price, that is not a good sign. Now, again, will we see new lows on Bitcoin? Will my 12 to 13,000, signal come true? Will 9,000 maybe get hit? I don't know. The point is, just be careful up here. Make it prove that we can get above 30,500 by price getting there, staying there for at least a week. Then you can start to say, okay, now for sure the lows are in. Doesn't mean we won't have pullbacks, but at least the lows are in. Lastly, I want to look at the SPX chart here, which is the S&P 500. Again, the SPX hovering right around this pattern. Now, the biggest thing for me, and I don't have this chart here, but I've shown it in recent videos, is this. This is a move up into euphoria, and this is complacency. If you look at the psychology of the market chart, and you can all Google this, the psychology of the market chart, you will see that this pattern here is the point that after euphoria, you pull back, and then you go into complacency. It is the beginning, or just before the beginning, of a bigger leg down than we have yet seen. So I'm going to leave you with this. By the end of 2023, the S&P will have at least touched 33 to 3,400. By 2024, we will touch 3,000. There is big downside coming. Analyze the charts. Analyze the psychology of the chart. You will see it in the charts. Every metric I'm seeing, the Fed is telling us this. The metrics, the complacency, everything rounds up to being absolutely 100% telling us that we're going to see downside.
At the time of writing, Bitcoin is trading at $28,291, and the Fear and Greed Index has dropped to neutral from last week's 68 points of greed. What is your opinion on Gareth's outlook on Bitcoin and the stock market? Is this just a minor pullback, or are we heading lower? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give us a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. This is Let's Talk Crypto, and we'll see you in the next video.